Hello ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you the first semifinal from the Wildcard tournament of the MSL to take Effort's retirement spot. This is going to be Cal Gajilla versus Hyuk on Aztec. So there we go, we got Cal and Hyuk on Aztec. Cal is going to be the blue Protoss at the 12 o'clock position. Hyuk, no, I'm wrong. Cal is going to be the yellow Protoss in the bottom left at about the 8 o'clock, and Hyuk is going to be the blue Zerg at the 12 o'clock. Hyuk, blue Zerg, Cal, yellow Protoss. There we go. And let's see, what happened in the first games? Cal went for a +1 Zealot timing attack, and wasn't able to do a ton of damage right off the bat. It looked like it maybe would do nothing, and then Hero was forced, he was going as Hero, and Hero kind of split up his Hydras. He was forced to do that because of the Zealots out in the middle field. He couldn't really combine his forces, so when Cal finally committed to an attack, it was very, very, very successful. And then he came in with the DT that snuck into Hero's base. He got a Storm Drop in there, a lot of harass, and just came in there for a big push, and it was a very good fight, but eventually Cal did come away with the victory. In the other game, we saw Hyuk versus Stats on Triathlon. Hyuk simply went for a 2-hatch lurker. Stats went for Nexus first behind his base. On Triathlon behind those eggs, and did not have enough cannons at the top of his ramp by the time he figured it out. He only had 2 cannons, I believe, at the top of his ramp, and they were just too little. And yeah, Hyuk took the victory with those lings and a couple of lurkers. So that was that, and that's how we got to this stage on Aztec. And this is the map once again. This is the map with reverse ramps. Cal getting the scout on very, very quickly, seeing the build from Hyuk, seeing that the pool first build, seeing that pool, so knows he's gonna have to get down. He's definitely gonna have to go cannons before he can put down his Nexus. And where's his forge? Shouldn't he have a forge by now? Okay, looks like he's going out right now to go build it. But it almost seems like that forge was a little late. Maybe not, but whatever. I'm sure that Cal's not going to screw up his forge expand. He is not. He's not Bisu. He's not going to screw up his forge expand. And now there's a drone chasing a probe around and doing a pretty good job of attacking it and trying to clear out space for his hatchery. Will he get it? Nope. Still no. Cal's still saying screw you, my spot. And will he throw down a pylon to be the ultimate douche? Will he throw it down? I don't know if he will or not. What's the plan here? Nope. Just going to harass as long as possible and then go back into the main and continue scouting and see when these eggs pop, which should be pretty soon. And this is really dangerous from Cal. Getting a photon. He went Nexus before a photon cannon and against this overpool, so this is going to be close, especially if Hyuk just goes for it. If Hyuk just goes for it, ignores that probe and just charges. He looks like he has 4. If he had 6 Zerglings, I'd be really afraid for Cal. With 4, he might be able to survive. Looks like he's getting the second cannon up now, but is it going to be a time? This is going to be close. He's going to need to pull off some probes, methinks, in order to defend against it. Looks like 1 probe coming off the line, and oh, actually interesting here, he delays him a little bit at this at a kind of a weird rip, and at a gateway coming down, so now he's gonna be okay probably to defend. Yeah, that was pretty close. That was I'm sure Cal had this practiced out, but that was cutting it pretty close. I was a little bit concerned there for him. I was worried. I admittedly was quite worried, but he pulls it off. So we're gonna go on into the next phase of the game, and Hyuk gets his third base up at the 3 o'clock position. Yeah, I don't know this map that well, to be entirely honest with you. It is Aztec. I do know the reverse ramps and that sort of thing, but I know you have a narrow ramp near your natural, and then if you go for Cal's position, if you go north a little bit, for Hyuk, if you go south a little bit, there is a bigger, wider ramp that's kind of outside right next to a mineral-only base. And then if you go south farther, you'll get for Hyuk's side. If you go south farther, you'll see the base where he's at. So basically, directly north of where Hyuk's third base is, there's a mineral-only that's on the same high ground as his natural, but there's another big ramp right outside of it, which you can see. Then you'll see the same thing on Cal's side. So that's the important geographical natures of this map. And we got a Cybernex score for Cal. Anything else important? Nope. No spinning forward. So it looks like we're not going to see that +1 attack again. At least it doesn't look like it. And that probe, little sneaky probe trying to get out there, and looks like he's almost thinking about sending a second probe out to try and just make sure he gets at least 1 probe out to get the scout on, but no. Looks like that first one is going to be enough. The Zergling's unable to catch it. So he's going to go back and get his scout on. Get the scout on. The Stargate is building as we speak. And that probe, I'm not really sure what that second probe is doing. I think Bisu's just sometimes Bisu. It almost seems like Bisu just sometimes gets bored. It's just like, meh, I'm just gonna play little micro games with people, because Bisu is usually when Bisu tries, he's got pretty ridiculous micro. When he tries, every now and then he'll just fail. Every now and then he fails, but for the most part, he's got pretty very very nice micro. So I think he was just playing around there, probing really with his probe into the contain. And there, now we have +1 finally spinning. Trying to wait for that Robo or Citadel or some kind of indication of what he's gonna go. He's gonna go with that third Photon Cannon. Hasn't seen what Hyuk's doing, so maybe a little bit worried about a Hydra Bust or something like that. And we have a Citadel coming up, so I'm thinking that we're gonna go see straight into some Templar tech. Which kind of Templar? I don't know yet. We will have to find out which kind of Templar. We do have the 4th and presumably 5th hatcheries also coming up for Hyuk. Another Gateway coming up for Cal. So pretty passive opening here. Not a whole lot going on. First Corsair produced. Doesn't look like a second Corsair is going to be produced. So this is just going to be a scouting Corsair to make sure he doesn't lose to, say, Mutas. So that's all that's really for. And just going to get the scout on Sin. So we'll see what he sees. Looks like he's built a few more Lings there, a little bit more, and another Corsair being produced, and no range or anything being upgraded on the Cybernetics core at this moment. Spire just completed, so those are probably some Scourge morphing from one of the bases very shortly to try and stop this Corsair from getting a second kill. Obviously, he is going to get the 1 kill, which usually does happen, gets the first Overlord kill. Hydra's done going down as well for Hyuk. And yeah, he's just got to be worried about getting that second or that third Overlord kill, which could be painful. And Hyuk throwing down a couple of creep colonies at his third base, concerned about a attack from Cal. Maybe thinking that he's going to put some pressure there. We'll see if one of them maybe even produces becomes a spore colony. If he's yeah, okay, I'm sorry, it's an evolution chamber and a Sakun colony. Never mind, I thought it was 2 creep colonies. I think he might actually have called a DT opening from Bisu and produced a spore colony, which would have been very interesting. Interesting notion of his. And let's see, do we have anything interesting going on for Beast? I mean, we got a lot of Zealots being produced, and that looks like just about it. We got a couple cannons in the main in order to, or 1 cannon in the main, and Templar Archives coming up. So he's able to stop that, the Scourge, able to provide a safe haven for his Corsairs, and now the Zealot speed has finished, so now he's streaming towards the 3 o'clock position, going to try and take this down, and Hyuk doesn't look like he's even mildly prepared for this. He's got all of 1 sunken colony there. So, oh wow, he does have this batch of Mutalisks and the Scourge, so will he commit to these Corsairs? If Bisu can keep these Mutas away from his attack, this could be a really successful attack. It looks like that's what he's trying to do. And here comes Bisu coming into an attack on that third base. Needs to get to that sunken colony, having some trouble doing so because of these drones. But does get a couple of the Zealots in there. And here come the Mutalisks to try and clean this up. Now this will be very interesting. How much damage will these Zealots be able to do before they go down? Looks like the Sunken Colony has fallen. Now they're going to start picking off at drones. And Zerglings coming in as well to try and defend here. And going to have to defend against that. We got a couple more Photon Cannons coming up for Cow. But all of the Zealots have gone down. Just a couple left in the middle of the map, but not a whole lot. We do have a few Photon Cannons coming up for Cal, so I think he'll be okay against this Muta Harass. He has a couple Corsairs still in the air, so I think he'll be okay, particularly if he switches over into some Dragoon play. He's got an Archon actually instead of going for Dragoons. He's going to produce that Archon. And with Hyuk, for some reason, this is actually one of the things that I will never ever understand. In ZVZ, Hyuk has amazing Muta Micro. It's really good. Like, his Muta Micro can go toe-to-toe with even Jaedong. Like, he can actually fight Jaedong and not embarrass himself. It's a very close fight. But then you go to ZVT and ZVP and Hyuk, like, forgets how to swoop. I mean, as far as I know, the swoop is still the same. Basically, it's the same exact motion. But for some reason, Hyuk is so bad at it in the other matchups, and we'll see how he does here. I mean, he really should be fine working with that cliff if he wanted to press it, but it looks like no, he's not going to risk a couple of Archon shots and do something like that, do something crazy. But this two Archon and a bunch of Zealot force along with these Corsairs in the air, looks like he's going to try and get an attack on this 3 o'clock position again. 2 second colonies have been morphed and a 3rd creep colony ready to be morphed, so that's a pretty decent defense, particularly if he can get his units gets back there in time. Looks like he's gonna basically be able to take down these overlords before the Mutalisks get into position, so that's a little bit bad for him. But all things considered, it could be much, much worse. Here come the Scourge coming in without the Mutalisks. So will they be able to... how is the cloning going to work? I can't tell how many got. I think he got one or two of the Corsairs. Not a whole lot. But there are a lot of Mutalisks in there. There are a lot of Mutalisks. And now he's going to go for a counterattack here with the Mutalisk. And Beast is going to split up his force. Corsairs going home to defend, while the ground force with the Archons and the Zalts is going towards the natural expansion maybe a little bit. Maybe he was hoping to catch some reinforcing units or something like that. Try and get some extra kills. Looks like he's going to get an Overlord at least, and unfortunately for him, BC wasn't able to find, say, a group of Zerglings or something like that he could have maybe killed basically for free. But these Archons look like they'll be able to take down another Overlord. Yep, they will very, very easily. And I think that's actually the Overlord that was grouped together with those Mutalisks, so he's going to have to regroup those Mutalisks, which is just probably one of those little annoying little things that Zerg players have to deal with on those occasions when they die, when those Overlords die. And it looks like we're gonna have an engagement between the Mutalisks and the Archons. Is there a fight going on? Okay, I'm getting really mad. Okay, there's a fight going on and we're not... Okay, there we go. Now we're seeing it. Can't really tell how the opening went. Looks like the Mutalisks were able to kill off at least one or two of the Zealots. And I'm not sure if the Archons got any shots off, to be honest with you. And the Zealots pushing out from Cal's main, taking down some Zerglings out in the middle of the field. Doesn't look like they're pushing towards any bases right now. Cal may be prepping for a base at the bottom left to try and get his third base, his third gas up and running. But Cal hasn't really done a ton of damage. Neither player's really have been able to do a ton of damage to the other. Been kind of a nuisance at best, but not a whole lot of damage. And here comes a drone trying to set up a fourth base at this mineral only. And will it go down? Yeah, at least he kept the drone alive. Zealot was sitting there waiting for him basically, but he did keep the Zealot alive. I'm sorry, the drone. And Storm's going down on these Mutalisks, trying to catch them. And I think one of them was pretty good, but really only one of them was very good. And a lot of the Templar do go down to these Mutalisks, and now there should be a Hydra group, pretty significant Hydra numbers being produced, presumably, indubitably, by Mr. Hyuk. But no, not being the normal. This isn't the normal way. Usually you'll see the Mutalisk come out, pops a bunch of the High Templar, and then you'll see this huge swath of Hydras come out of nowhere and just absolutely pwn face. And Hyuk... You know what I said, that Hyuk has no idea of how to micro in anything other than ZVZ? Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm guessing Hyuk just clicked over there because he wanted to sit his Mutalisk somewhere while he went back and macroed or something. But he ran right into cannons and Corsairs and like lost every single Mutalisk. I think he had one left maybe, or something like that. That was just... Oh, Hyuk! What an interesting start to the game, and then Hyuk goes and like Hyuks it up and does something just dumb. We do have a hive completed, so probably cracklings are just about done, and he's just now getting that third gas actually, so pretty late on the third gas. Don't know if he has enough. Well, he probably actually hasn't produced any Lurkers or Hydras, so he's got a lot of gas saved up, and a lot of Zerglings being produced actually, and able to pick off the one Archon left, along with a bunch of Dragoons, and Zerglings obviously very, very good against Dragoons if they can get around that Archon, and but a few Zealots there in support, and that Archon just having a field day. 18 kills on that Archon, doing a fantastic job. Looks like some Zerglings went to the bottom left to try and take down that base, but too many cannons were there, so a bunch of wasted Zerglings there too. So Hyuk has lost a lot of units in the last 2-3 minutes, and not done very much damage to Cal's army. So Hyuk definitely in a little bit of a trouble here, I would say for sure. Definitely behind. It looks like he's going straight to Ultras, not going Defiler at all. And some nice storm by Cal, beautiful storms by Cal, fantastic, wiping the floor with a lot of Zerglings once again. Great play by Hyuk, well-placed storms, and once again Cal getting a lot of kills for not taking a lot of damage. And now a bunch of Corsairs, looks like that's maybe 2, 4, 6, 8 Corsairs coming in, picking off a bunch of Overlords, and DT's jumping into the main as well. And this game is over, ladies and gentlemen. Cal just pwned face and just destroyed so much. Hyuk can just GG anytime he feels like. He just lost a lot of Overlords, lost a lot of drones, looks like he's going to lose his spotting pool. And there's GG from Hyuk. Hyuk just Hyuked it up. It was a very interesting start, pretty even start, and then Hyuk just started Hyuking, and it just was not pretty at all. So that's that. Cal going to move on to the final, and we're going to have the second semifinal coming up for you next.